Okay, so I'm reading the Bible for the first time, and I have to talk about it because it is a wild, wild ride, and I never knew that all of this was in here. I am doing Deuteronomy, recapping Deuteronomy. Any of the previous books are already posted. Essentially, we start off with the Israelites have just gotten to the Promised Land, and they're on the east side of the Jordan River, crossing into the Promised Land. And Moses says, go check it out. And they're like, no, we're scared. We don't want to. And Moses is like, okay, cool. I'll send Caleb in your place. It's not even a big deal. I sort of don't care. And they're like, just kidding. We do want to go. We do want to go. And Moses says, well, I'm sorry. You already said you don't want to. It shows that you don't have any faith in God. So if you go, it's going to suck for you, but do what you want to do. They go anyways. They get their asses whooped because God is like, you snoozed, you lose. You snoozed, you lost. Doesn't really work the same. But they do ultimately succeed and they get the land, okay? Then God says to Moses, listen, only Joshua can go. Moses is really jealous. And this is the point in the Bible in which I think that these will become less of a recap and more of a commentary from me. Because when I tell you that I was fired up on Moses' behalf, it's not an understatement. I'm so pissed that this poor guy, he was just a good guy from the beginning. He felt for the Israelites. He felt for the Hebrews. And God put him on this journey to go through the desert, to lead these people, strife, famine, thirsty, plagues, the earth is caving, and he's the scapegoat for everything. And then they finally fucking get there after 40 years, and God is like, actually, never mind. And I don't know if I read this somewhere. I must have read it somewhere because I don't think I would have just made this up, but who's to say? Apparently, God is mad at Moses because when Moses went and banged on the rock to get the water out, God told Moses just go talk to the rock. And so because Moses didn't listen to him explicitly, he's being punished, which is just such a red flag for me. That type of behavior, every time I've seen it, where someone holds on to something that you did wrong to them so long ago, some tiny thing, and then later on down the road whips it back out to punish you, is that for me is I'm we're done. I don't know you anymore. You don't know me anymore. In fact, we never knew each other to begin with. Then God does the 10 Commandments for real, which I had to put for real because I misspoke when I talked about Exodus. I said that he did the 10 Commandments then. The fact of the matter is that God did do the 10 Commandments then, but he only gave them to Moses. And when Moses came down from the mountain and saw that they were all doing the golden calf praising thing, he got so pissed that he smashed them to pieces. So the people never got the 10 Commandments, but now God is now Moses can actually do them. Okay. I'm going to try and be cool about this. Then God says, hey, so do you guys remember this whole sort of thing that we've been doing together? Where I took you out of Egypt and then you were starving and you were thirsty and you were hungry and blah, 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 blah. And it just kind of sucked for you. Yeah, well, I was doing all that because I had to humble you. You were a little too full of yourself, and I had to discipline you like you were children. So just know that. And it's if you went to a clinician, your therapist, and you said to them, hey, I'm in a relationship, work, family, friendship, romantic, whatever the case may be, and this person has been intentionally making my life harder and sabotaging me. And I sort of knew it. I had my suspicions, but I didn't know for sure. And now they've just told me that they did all of this to humble me and to discipline me like a child. Your therapist would come up with a safety plan with you and tell you, you need to get out of this relationship. And this is supposed to be God. This is supposed to be God. I am at a loss for words almost, except not because I'm going to keep talking about it. But it's how is this supposed to be God? This is so rude. This is such insane behavior that it actually is giving me war flashbacks from previous bad relationships because been there, done that. Then he's like, okay, so when you go into some land, you might think for a second, like, oh, I'm getting this land because I'm so smart, or I'm so strong, or I'm righteous. The fact of the matter is that you're not. I am taking away those people's land because I hate them. You're only getting it because I'm okay with you. I don't even like you. They don't get their land anymore because they're evil. You get it because you're all right, not because you're good. Which it's like, again, all of this, these are his chosen people. His chosen people. And he just dogs on them constantly. Like, I can't piece it together in my head. I can't make sense of the thought process here. But I guess I am just a mere human. I'm not a god. What do I know? Okay. Then he gets into a bunch of rules, which I will say I'll probably have to stop halfway through the rules to do part 2. And the rules are, these are not all the rules. These are the rules that I found interesting. There are a lot of rules. So, listing some off. No pork, no interfaith marriage. Every 7 years, debts must be canceled. You must give to poor people generously. If you have servants, you have to free them after 7 years. And if they're like, oh my God, no, like I love you too much, I don't want to go, then you can nail their ear to a door frame and then they will be yours forever. Every crime must have 2 witnesses. If you're building a new house, have planted a vineyard, gotten engaged, or if you're faint-hearted, or if you are in your first year of marriage, you don't have to go fight in war. If you go to war, you can go up to people and say to them, hey, do you want to make peace? And if they say yes, then you can enslave them all. Fine. If they say no, then you can do whatever you want to their land. That's your land now. The only thing you can't do is destroy fruit trees. And if while you're there, you meet a girl and you want to capture her and take her and settle down and get married, that's totally fine. The only thing is that you have to cut off all her hair and cut all her nails, and you have to give her 1 month to mourn her family that you have just taken care of. No cross-dressing at all. And if you have a rebellious son, you must stone him too. And then I will pick up the rest of the rules and the rest of Deuteronomy in part 2. Okay.